Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Welcome, Sister Zai, to the NGS podcast.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. This is the second in our series of the Tarbiya sessions, inshallah. So, Sister Zai, Zaytuna Mizdiq, is a self-help author, life coach, motivational speaker, and empowerment expert. She has an incredible story, which we will link up in this podcast, and you can read about it and learn more about her work, inshallah. But today we'll be focusing mainly on this topic of tarbiyah and specifically parenting.
Yes.
So, Sister Zai, we've just come from a parenting workshop here at NGS, which was really phenomenal. And I think a lot of topics are opened up. So perhaps we just start with what were your kind of takeaways or reflections after this first session here at NGS?
It's very interesting. Thank you for having me today. It's a blessing, really, by Allah, that I created this program called Awakening Parents, because resilient, confident parents raise confident, compassionate kids. And that's what we discussed today during the session and all my past sessions. I realized that a lot of parents are feeling trapped and stuck because, as I said it earlier, and I will say it now, we were raised in a generation where our parents are overqualified, manipulators and emotional blackmailers. Sometimes they even use spiritual blackmail. And we are living in times where our kids demand, they don't request, they insist, they don't care about what's happening in the world, whether you have money or not. They just want their rights. A parent said something about self-entitled. So why do we have this gap? Why do we have this problem? Why are parents today stuck in this era? But then again, at the end, we're like, akhir zaman, where children, parents are slaves to their children. And how do we resolve this? Yeah, something for us to discuss, I guess, today.
Subhanallah, yeah. So many topics came up there and a lot that we've been discussing in our parent group here as well. There's so much need for support in these times. We are in this time of increasing fitna. And I think we really have to band together as a Muslim community and really look at how can we do this tarbiyah in the contemporary times that we're in. And it really has to, what I love too in one of your slides, as you mentioned, it's really both parents having to be involved. Today we had mostly mothers there. And so I'm hoping we can do something for the fathers too, but this has to be a partnership and a communal effort. Tarbiyah as a shared responsibility between school and home and community.
Yeah, 100% fathers. We need involved fathers. Fathers are not just breadwinners. You're not just maintainers and providers. I know it's stated in the Quran, the man is the maintainer and provider. But our fathers are human too. We want to connect with our other halves, with our brothers, with our fathers. So I think at the end of the day, a lot of the issue here is cultural programming. I call it cultural disorder, which we need to unpack and understand, which is the truth, which is necessary, which is still serving us, which is something that our great-grandparent had died with and should just stay with them in the graves. Right? Like yesterday I was just discussing with a friend. He said, oh, when I drink the drink, I shouldn't make, I was drinking my coffee and it made some noise because it was hot. I was just like, it was noisy. And he's like, oh, my mom used to scold me when I was young. I shouldn't drink it with noise. I should like blow into the cup or something. I say, but no, when I was young, my mom said I cannot blow into the cup because shaitan is at this, I think like we should. So I said, you see all this cultural upbringing, we need to address this. Is it truly serving us and our children?
Yes. Very important questions.
So that's the cultural programming. And then, of course, there's the deen part. Islam is so beautiful and strategic and simple, but somehow or the other, it has been so culturally twisted. Like, if you don't do this, you will go to hell. There's so much of fear. There's so much of this. There's so much of that. Because these were words we heard from our parents. Remember just now I was telling you, when you, maybe when you were younger or what, you used to hear your parents say, oh, you wait, you will have kids too. Like this, you are threatening the child. And every word is a dua of a parent. So these are things we need to reflect on. I don't want to blame our parents. Like I said in the session earlier, they tried their best with all the knowledge, with all the skills, with all of their ability. The same thing parents today, you think you are doing your best, but why are the kids not listening to us today? Why is there no appreciation and respect?
SubhanAllah.
Why is that missing? And then every oof or every eye that they roll at you, we are causing them more sin than we are helping them. So how are we going to solve this problem we are here?
SubhanAllah. Well, that's the question, right? And the other thing that we've discussed and reflect on today is that really this work of parenting, I said to you too that, we hear this hadith that marriage is 50% of your deen. And I was going to say today that maybe parenting is 75%. Really, this tazkiyah al-nafs, we have to be constantly doing this work on ourselves. And so that's a question that I have for you is, as a community and as individuals, where can we start on this journey? I think a lot of people are looking for resources, they're looking for support, and they're looking for community too. So perhaps we could talk a bit about that in your work, having done a lot of these workshops and worked with communities.
So as you know, I run a company called Step Up Journey, right? So stepupjourney.com was born accidentally also. I've been doing a lot of businesses before, 22 years of entrepreneurship. 10 years old, Step Up Journey is 10 years old. It started with women empowerment.
MashaAllah.
Because I wanted to focus on helping people turn their passion into profit, which is my first book, how to turn your dreams into reality with confidence and clarity. But the foundation of what I share, teach, and am learning as well is how I step up to turn my pain into power. So how do I turn my pain into power will be an example of I broke my spine, fractured, dislocated my spine in 2005 from an accident. Doctors say I will never be able to walk anymore. Even after the accident, after the operation, 95% chance I will not be able to walk. And the doctors also said another thing to my family, which I recently found out. He said she could die, like 50% chance of leaving this world or living this world. So it was huge. Of course, I look normal and everything now. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, really, But how did I decide to step up and move from victim to victor mindset? So as I shared with the ladies, the parents earlier, I said, we need to ask ourselves, as long as we choose to stay in this rut, or in the corporate world, they call it the rat race, when is enough, and when am I going to say, I'm sick and tired of this, something need to change. Because Allah says in the Quran, I cannot change you if you don't change yourself. So effort, we do our best, and we have to let Allah do the rest. Right?
That's it.
I went to a Methodist school, by the way, 5 years.
Okay.
Do your best and let God do the rest, right? So yeah, there's that. So stepping up to being aware and awakened to decide, I want to take ownership to turn my pain into power. Number 2, parents, our partners, they are not your rehabilitation center. Sitting in, we are not. We can support, we can be kind to each other, we can have tough, healthy conversations. This is a topic on its own. Healthy, tough conversation is something we were never taught. Because when you speak, it means you're going to cause conflict. It means you are trying to find trouble. You want to fight, or you want to flight, or you want to keep the fear and be frozen. So we need to exercise this. It used to be a very difficult thing for me. And then recently, like last 2-3 years, I practiced, even with my brothers or nieces or my friends, I said, can I clarify something? So it became my favorite word to use. It's like, I want to ask you something. It comes like, oh, and then, we have defense mechanism, all these walls that we built. How to break through that? Today, a parent asked me, I have a 13-year-old son. Firstly, I have lack of self-confidence. Just now, a parent came. She wasn't on the session, but she came later to see me. Say, I have lack of self-confidence. How do I help myself? And the other thing she said, my son is 13 years old, but the gap is so big. It's really sad because it's not easy to raise a child. It takes a whole village. Already you are struggling. You think you are trying your best, and then the child is feeling disconnected and, oh, my mother don't care about me. My parents, they don't appreciate me. They don't understand me. So what's going on? To remember in the session I shared with the parents, I said, we want to work on ourselves because we want to understand, are we living our truth? Because fortunately, or actually unfortunately, we are living a very plastic, I call it the plastic truth. It's not even truth, it's plastic, very masked, lots of masks. And You know, like when you meet someone, oh, hi, how are you? Are you okay? Oh, everything's okay. No, things are not okay. I need a conversation. I need a space. But holding space, having healthy boundaries, all these are things that need to be understood and practiced and applied both ways. Partners, parent and child, colleagues, siblings. I mean, just look backwards. How is our relationship with our parents? How have we been parented, right? That was the first aha thing that we saw in the workshop. How have we been parented? We don't want to blame our parents. We want to move out from being victim mindset to victorious mindset. Okay, halas. Then we want to ask ourselves, how is our relationship with our siblings? There's another topic altogether. Where did all that hate, jealousy, sibling rivalry, judgment, distrust is our flesh and blood? And then we cling to Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the masjid, I think we have better community than in our own homes. In my Facebook world, I think I'm more connected with my Facebook family than our own family members.
SubhanAllah.
The disconnection, right? We are worrying about our kids. No, look inside first. What went wrong here? Let's figure this out. Work backwards.
SubhanAllah. And you know, that reminds me of this powerful verse that Allah gives us in the Quran, which is save yourself and your family from the fire, right? We have to start there. Sometimes we're always looking out and trying to solve this problem or that problem. That really struck me when I heard that verse. Start with yourself and your family. And then you can go up. But that's where we have to do. We can't give what we don't have.
From an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And even in the planes, they say put on your oxygen mask before helping others. But helping others has become, again, another taboo. It's like, oh, why are you so selfish? So a lot of people, they don't want to make time. Oh, I prefer to be at the back end. I don't want to talk about anything in front. I don't want to be the forefront person. Why? What are you running from? What are you escaping from?
SubhanAllah.
What? And how? And if people like us, mashallah, Allah give us this ilm is from Allah, of course. But if we choose to stay at home and do nothing, we will be questioned.
Of course. Yes, absolutely.
Heavy responsibility, you know. And one of my friends says, Zai, you are so brave to even talk about all these things. I say I'm speaking not because of my ego, but because I struggle and I don't want another person to go through what I went through. If only someone shared when I was younger how to build your businesses, how to have a franchise henna business, I think it'll be something else. But all of us have our journey.
Yes.
Everything is a process.
Yes, SubhanAllah.
Like me getting here, right? Like I know I always want to have my own talk show or something. But we met today, you see, you have a podcast studio and it's sitting here. I say, oh, let's do something. Take the first step first.
That's it.
So a lot of times, whatever I should can be so overwhelming, like, where do I start? Take the first step first. Like I said, sometimes we are so angry with our partner. We're so angry with our children. Look inside. Ask yourself, what am I angry and unhappy about myself? What am I angry and unhappy about my parents, about my father? What did he say to my mom that affect me until this day? Because I always say this, we are all adults, broken adults, stuck in a little child's no, the little child is stuck. We are stuck.
Yes.
We are operating from our 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old. Sometimes when I get angry, I change my face look like when I'm 5, I'm like, oh my God, she's starting that inner child, the inner demon. How do we heal? So we need to work on loving kindness meditation.
Yeah.
I have that link on my YouTube. So do check it out because really, really useful. As much as yesterday I learned something very powerful I want to share with you. So the Ustaz was talking about the Mecca face and the Medina face.
Yes.
I'm like, I never heard this term before. Have you heard it?
Yeah, I haven't heard it kind of unpacked though. Maybe you can share.
I will share. It's my first time. I'm like, wow. Because I always say this, when someone's feeling depressed and down, parents just die or something, grief, you don't say, oh, have sabr, have tawakkal, have rida. Like Allah would, like I know that. Like I'm just sad, leave me alone. But the Mecca phase was 14 years of teaching La ilaha illallah.
Yeah, Tawheed.
You don't say, okay, go pray, do your tahajjud, when someone is down.
Sah.
It's the inner world to take care of that. And then the Medina phase is when you have both, the faith and the actions.
SubhanAllah.
So sometimes we want to give advice to our children or even to ourselves. Ask ourselves, where am I at this stage? Do do I need a hot latte and cheesecake? Or do I really need to go to the mosque and pray and make sujood and cry to my heart out? You know yourself.
Subhanallah. And I saw those openings today in the workshop, just taking the time to actually reflect and ask questions, because sometimes as parents, we're constantly on the move. One thing of next, we don't even slow down to check in to see how am I? Am I really being my authentic self? And if I'm not, what do I need to do to be able to be more authentic? And that was something that I heard come up quite a bit in the questions, is this taking this time for oneself, self-care, so that then you can be more present for your parent or for your children.
And that's parents.
And parents too, and your parents too, and your family, right? Because the other thing too that a colleague said to me is, you know, Yahya, oftentimes, especially this is something that men and fathers struggle with long work hours. You know, I heard two things. One was 20 years from now, the only people that are going to remember that you worked late were your children.
Oh my God.
Okay, that really hit me. The second thing was that we should be saving our best for our children. Sometimes I come home, I'll speak for myself, I just want to lay down on the couch, right? My daughter's there jumping and flying and wanting to be there, and it pains me then when I reflect on this that I haven't given my best to my family first, you know? So that's something that hit me too, is trying to save that best. But to do that, I need to then really reflect on how am I prioritizing time so that I have that energy and that I've taken care of myself too. And I heard the mothers even more speak into that point, right? May Allah make it easy for them and reward them.
It's really not easy. It's really, really, really difficult times. I'm not going to say, oh, of course, you can do this, you can do this. But you see, when you really take care of your inner self, yourself, the children will learn to appreciate and respect you better. And I want to say this about what the mother said earlier. Like when she's just watching a movie, her kids demand her movie time. The child wants her screen time. When she's just putting on more makeup, they're just like, oh, where are you going? Another parent shared, remember?
Yes.
She saw photos of breakfast with the friends and she get questioned. I'm like, firstly, why do we need to explain to our children? How did that happen? Something for us to ask ourselves. And the conclusion we had was very nice about breaking the pattern, because your children see you as the server. When I come home, food will be on the table. I eat, I don't care. Did they say thank you to you? Did they say, Alhamdulillah, Ya Rab, my mother is alive to serve me? So today I advised the parent, I said, go, when your child come home today, hi, welcome home. Marhaba, khalas. Mind your own business for a while. What will happen? The child will not die hungry.
Yes.
Then, Mommy, where's my lunch? The kid is going to ask, huh? Because it has been a pattern you introduce to them. You can say, it's in the kitchen, darling.
Yeah.
It's in the kitchen, darling. The child will say something else. Don't have to reply. Just say, do you want to eat with me? Shall I join you for lunch? Break the pattern.
Yes, that's it.
We have allowed it for too long. What do we feel? What is the cultural programming? Did you see your parents do the same? That's why you're doing the same?
SubhanAllah.
We need to break the pattern. If your husband comes home, maybe you used to have dinner with him and you are going to serve him again. If he's going to come back late, are you going to miss your dinner and not take care of yourself? Is it okay if he's not coming back for you to take some time out? Go have dinner, eat your pasta, eat your burger. Cheat day, your children cannot eat burger? Okay, and Coke, you go out and have your Coca-Cola and burger, go. 30 minutes, come back. What will happen to the home? I mean, I don't think they will burn the house down. Okay, they watch TV, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go have your dinner.
SubhanAllah.
Simple thing, but we forget we can do it. Because remember we talk about self-acceptance. I feel like I don't deserve this.
Yeah.
So we have to choose, are you the servant or are you the queen? And the queen manages very well. The queen is not some whatever, no. It's not like no. They manage. They manage everything, but they remain the queen.
Yeah, that level of respect, right, and the adab that one has for their parents, we have to instill that.
This is the solution today. We found out as we were speaking.
Yes.
You have to choose. Do you want to be the server or are you going to be the queen? Fathers the same. I had a corporate training. One of the fathers, after the second session for effective communication and collaboration, I think the father was in his 30s. He said, Ms. Zai, I really appreciate what you shared because I went home. I actually took time out and spent time with my daughter and asked her, how's her day at school?
SubhanAllah.
I'm like, and these guys are senior managers in the workplace. And I'm like, wow, like, I'm happy for you. And how did you feel? He said, I didn't know I could do it.
SubhanAllah.
I'm like, interesting.
Yeah, that's it.
It sounds so basic, but maybe our fathers didn't do it for us.
Yeah.
We didn't see that. So we'd fall into that normalized and all this cultural programming. And when I say culture, I don't mean the adab and the essence of life and way of life. No, culture like eating on your own, doing your own things, like saying hello to your children. Or I always do this, like sometimes when our family come home, we have this rule whereby 10 minutes, we just leave everybody on their own. You know, you want to watch up, you want to change, you want to charge your phone, like 10, 15 minutes. And then there's this, another, one of my Awakening Parents session. I have a family, very cute. So in Singapore, I've run these sessions, the Awakening Parents session, 22 sessions I told you before. And so it was very interesting, the group of parents. So I had one of the parents, I said, how do you guys manage screen time at home? Because the kids are on the phone, the parents are on the phone. How do you guys manage this? So, and one of the parents, I think it was a Myanmar parent, he said, we make the children collect everybody's phone.
Oh, mashallah.
Reverse psychology, because you cannot get it from your child. So they have a basket. By 7 p.m., everyone, Papa give me your phone, Mama give me your phone. Beautiful. They watch TV together, they eat together, you can pray together, you can read the Quran together, you can do your stuff together. Which is good because it's actually what do you call it? What I say? I can't remember the term, but taking time out from screen before you go to sleep. Sleep hygiene.
Okay, yes.
Sleep hygiene.
I like that term, yeah.
Yeah, sleep hygiene. I said this is so important and so powerful. Actually, it brings family together.
Yeah, that's the key. And I think what I hear there is it doesn't need to be these big trips here or there, right? It can be just quality family time together, sitting around and having a conversation at the dinner table, 100%. Right? And that can make all the difference. Just asking, how was your day? And really listening too. I think that's the key, right? Is really practicing that prophetic listening. Put away all the devices, all the distractions, 100%. Take out the earplugs, you know, out the earphones, and just really listen and connect.
What are you grateful for today?
Yeah. That's a beautiful one. And maybe that's just a takeaway from this, right?
Yeah.
Start here. And I like this one where you do 3 macro and 3 micro, right? So you can think of 3 big ones. This is what and while I'm saying this, I'm reminding myself I need to do it more with my family. So we would do this sometimes, my wife and I. 3 macro, like 3 big things. So for example, it might be, and these might be the same, family, health, safety. We're so blessed just saying those out loud, right? And then where you get creative is the 3 micro, right? So I might say medium roast Colombian coffee beans. I absolutely love. I lived in Colombia.
Micro.
That's micro. And another is just having AC driving in the car in Dubai. All right. And a third might be the hug that I get from my daughter when she runs home, when I'm coming home and she runs to get me a hug. Right? Macro. That is a macro. They can fit in both, but they're these kind of just saying them, you know, and that's that powerful message Allah gives us in Surah Al-Imran, which is, if you are grateful, I will give you more. You know,
and also, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Which of the blessings do you both deny? It can be husband and wife. It can be our heart, again, our heart and our mind. Can be everything.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So authentic conversation. Tough, healthy, tough conversation. It all stems from, why did people fall out? Because we didn't communicate. We didn't clarify.
SubhanAllah.
A lot of breakups, for example, you know, if you have been in relationships, you just break up, you didn't explain, you leave people hanging, and then you ghost on people. Because normally when you watch all these stories, like love stories, it's because I was scared, I had to run. But the other party feel like, oh, you are so mean, I hate you, and I hate to be in a relationship for life. Communication.
So important. Honest communication. And the other thing too, the other takeaway here that we were discussing earlier is that this can feel so overwhelming, but making that sincere intention that I'm going to do my best, I'm going to work on myself, and I'm going to ask Allah for help.
Yes.
right? Because we can't do this on our own, right? Allah Mustaan was when I said at the end of the workshop, because really that seems like such a big burden.
Nah.
And that's what, you know, we have to ask Allah for help. That's Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. This is our Lord, our helper, the one that can solve all of our problems, but we have to ask for that help, you know, and that's
But
important.
take action, personal responsibility. We love to blame others and it's so convenient. Okay, blame, but then what? So another thing about gratitude I wanted to share with you in my book, Turn Your Passion into Profit. We actually recently converted it into a Braille book.
Amazing. Yeah, I saw that in your profile there. That's amazing.
So that in itself, when I had to release the book, the manuscript to the guy who is a visually impaired English teacher in Uzbekistan, he can only see 20-30%. So when I sent him the PDF, he says, Zaituna, I read your book. It's so inspiring, but I need to turn this into Braille because I want to read more and again.
MashaAllah.
And then those with eyes don't want to read, don't want to invest in ourselves.
SubhanAllah.
And then he converted it. We did a book launch, Braille book launch in Dubai, in Uzbekistan. And this in itself, I had to remove most of all the pictures because they cannot see the pictures.
SubhanAllah.
Vision.
Yeah.
Vision.
What a blessing. What
Yeah.
a blessing. What a blessing.
Wow.
And to use it, right? To use, these are blessings that we have to use. We have to be aware of them. And then, like you said, put them into action.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, we've come about to the end of our time here. I always have two things I like to do. We do a random name, a beautiful name of Allah. So we'll see what it is today. So I want you to give me a number between 1 and 99.
18.
18. Okay. So 18, our beautiful name of Allah for today is Al-Qadr. Al-Qadir, Al-Muqtadir. The able, the most able, the ever able.
Wow.
Beautiful, huh? He is the able. So it mentions here that Al-Qadr is the one who measures and decrees everything. Al-Qadir is the one who has complete ability. It is not shrouded with any disability from any aspect. And Al-Muqtadir, the ever able, has absolute power, so nothing can stop him.
100%.
Subhanallah.
So do your best and let Allah, Ya Qadir, Ya Muqtadir, do His best for you.
Beautiful.
Inshallah, and do the rest, yeah.
Inshallah. All right, so last thing, since we are an inquiry school here, we try to promote questions and curiosity. So we have the question key jar, and we'll each pick one from this and see what we get here at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
If somebody from another planet came to Earth, what would he or she think of our world? You don't want to hear from me.
Allah Mustaan.
Allah. Is it haram alaikum? If somebody from another planet came to Earth, what would he or she think of our world? It's like Allah truly trusted you guys to be Khalifas, but what a shame. But we are trying.
We're trying. We have a lot of work to do.
We are trying our best.
So Allah is the one that guides, but we can try to convey the message in the best possible way.
Okay, I have questions for you. I'm sure. What convinced you that this is the way of life and the truth?
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So listen to my Sharjah TV episode that I did for Ramadan.
Okay.
But just a quick answer was actually for me through the practice of it. It wasn't theology. It wasn't anything I had read. It was actually practicing and waking up for the Fajr prayer, and that peace that I had, the sakina I felt walking to the masjid. That was the first thing where I felt that there's something very powerful.
This was before the conversion.
Well, you'll hear in my story. There were two. In my story, that we're getting into a whole other podcast episode. But there were two shahadas. Let me leave you with that. Look, they're tantalizing.
So the Fajr prayers, I believe, is the second shahada.
So that came later. Once I started practicing, I was ready then to take a second shahada where I said it with my full being, my full heart.
MashaAllah. There you go. But then again, there's another beautiful thing for us born Muslims.
Yeah.
We say the shahada at least 5 times a day. It's not a one-off thing. You have to say it every time.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. That's it. Until our time comes, we have to be constantly reaffirming.
Even the niyyah, right? You look at it from the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. It's not about, okay, I got this right. It's a mold. No. We know our end destination, but we can always tweak and be flexible along the way.
Beautiful reminder.
This is,
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
I mean,
So, Jazakallah khair.
thank you.
I hope this is the first of many more sessions and engagements here at NGS.
Yes.
May Allah facilitate.
Amen.
Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
May Allah bless you in the work that you're doing and help all of us on this path.
Amin. Allah help us all. Amin.
Ya
Nah,
Rab.
inshallah, yeah.
Jazakum Allah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.